Right, you know what time it is? It is 9 o'clock, which can mean only one thing. It's time for 10 taps. Yes, I want 10 taps. You know what they're for? 4 for the hell, 1 for the space, 4 for the air, 1 to put a smile on my face, folks. Comes the Yanzi. I'm waiting. Hello, folks. I think this is the first sort of like live, well, hobby session. I'm not building, I'm thinking. Yeah, of the, howsy doozy, 2021. There's a lot of chaos in the world right now. A lot of chaos. Let's just keep calm and crack on, eh? It'll all settle down. In the meantime, that's my plan. So, are we coming in 5 by 5? I see Facebookers. Where are the Twitchers? Do we have Twitchers? There's no Twitchers, Mel. That window. Hey, I can keep an eye on you all over the place now. Right. And drag that down. Cross. There you go. Right. I can see stream health and everything. That will do me. There we go. Quite a few of you watching this evening. Good evening, Terrainiacs and the Terrainiac group. If you're not part of the Terrainiac group, the links are on the description in YouTube and on Twitch. No one's watching on Twitch. I see Jazz. Hey, Paddy. Hey, Tanya. Right, obviously, I am sitting at the working desk tonight. That's because we're going to be working. Put out the video at the start of the week. Yeah, I've been into the studios this week sorting them out. As you can see, there are many empty drawers and gaps now. Yeah, that's as I'm starting to take all the greenery and that sort of stuff back to the studio. I've set up Studio 2 today, or I've started setting it up. It's a lot cleaner. Bench tools are out, which means going into work tomorrow, it's going to be a lot easier to knock out the bases. My plan tonight is work out what bases I need to knock out so we can crack on with the Burma build. Yes, I asked you whether you wanted my Burma build. Pardon me. That's a cheeky kebab for you. I asked you whether you wanted my Burma build or whether you wanted me to do terrain labs, and overwhelmingly, yeah, there was a lot of initial interest in the terrain labs from you hardcore Terrainiacs who were like right on the video at the start. But once the ball was rolling, yeah, people have have sort of really wanted the big Burma build. And there was one comment that got me, that sort of sealed the deal for me, to be truthful, folks. One person had commented that, you know, they liked that the Burma build was my own passion, you know, my own personal project that I go a bit crazy on, which it is. But they got sort of saddened by the time between the videos in the Burma build playlist, and there's some big gaps between those few videos. I think there's only 5 or 6. And, you know, he sort of said, like, you know, you should spend more time on your own project now you've got the book done and everything, you know. If you're going to be doing tutorials and everything coming up, do your own project. And I thought, yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to get stuck into the Burma build. Now, we have got isolation reach stuff there. That's still coming because that's technical tutorials and stuff like that. Yeah, the teddy bear fur stuff will be coming. We'll roll into that at the end of the month once I've got, you know, once I'm back in my studio. I've warmed my bricks up a bit because it's still cold in there. Twitch fell over. There's 2 people watching on Twitch. They're being very quiet, but they are there. I'm glad you're here with me, here at the end of all things. It's not the end of all things, it's the start of new things. I think the way I'm looking at it more like now is I'm a phoenix rising from the ashes of last year. Yeah, I mean the dollar's tanked internationally, which means when you get paid in dollars, that's not good. So links down below if you'd like to support the channel, folks. Whether you want to dip in straight to PayPal or whether you want to do it through Streamlabs and support our 3D printer thingy. Yeah, whichever, doesn't matter. And if you're in the UK and you want to buy anything from America, now's the time. Because British pounds are finally worth some serious dollar again. Because the British pound hasn't been worth serious dollar since Brexit was announced, as in the referendum. Never mind the vote. Yeah, and I'm not getting political, I'm just talking finance. Yeah, but now it's actually gone the other way. Mal, question, how would you break up a build that would be 3 foot by 3 foot by 4 foot? Okay, right, first off, that's a cube. I've done lots of boards, I've never built a bloody cube, mate. Graham, rephrase the question. Because I was confused. Unless you're playing like 3D, like 4D. Is this like 4D chess? Or 4D wargaming? You're on different levels here or something, you know? 4 foot high, 3 foot wide. Are you? Is that what you're thinking? That's a bit cheeky. I like that. Christopher, yes, 2021 is good. I've been in the studio 3 days this week, which is a good sign to be perfectly honest. Many people saying the book has arrived. Glad to hear it. I've heard of delays of up to 4 weeks between the dispatch email and actually receiving the book. So if you haven't had your book yet, the cogs are turning, guys. Just let them turn. Graham's like, Mel, it is a castle build I have planned for a while. So are you going multi-level, Graham? Are you going to want to play on all those levels at the simultaneously? Or are you going to want them stacked individually? You know, so if we're talking about the donjon, yeah, and the keep, are you going to want those individual so you stack them on, or are you thinking of looking at it as 4 different boards, each topographical, showing the different? Silver is going up as well. I hadn't even thought about silver. Melvin, we will stream earlier, pre 9 p.m. because we could. Okay, Joe. Right. I said a long time I would love to see more personal projects and even you playing some games on that scenery. I think it's important to balance that. I think considering the break I've had off the channel, yeah, I do need to dive in. I do need to do things properly now, you know, because I'm very much alone in my life. You know, it's not me and Kerry anymore supporting each other through it. So I've really got to be on the ball and, you know, but I think above all, it's the passion that matters. And as long as the passion is there, then, you know, the merch on the side and stuff like that, that doesn't matter so much. Yeah, well, it does. Yeah, but people come for the passion and hopefully they'll buy a bit of merch. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm a merch and I'm trying to drag people in. So it's really about finding the passion, which is why I think the Burma build is a really good one. I want to go back and do that some justice. Graham's saying, Mel, that is it. Cut of the earth, castle on top, middle is the dungeon, mines on the bottom. How are you going to handle fog of war? Eight Finger Man saying, I'm investing in EPS phone, the currency of the Terrainiacs. Smart move, smart move. Oh, that's a good brew. Right. Got the book. It's beautiful, so stacked with the info. I don't often work on terrain, but looking forward to it more than ever now. Thank you for persevering for such an awesome product. It's what we do. Share our passion. Merch pays the bills. It certainly does. Right, better. Let me just make sure I've got my PayPal just in case any of you guys are doing the good thing. Oh, right. Is that people jumping on Patreon? Yes, John Purcell, John P. Thank you, buddy. If I spot it while we're live, you get a shout out. Sure, don't want to miss anyone. Because you're not going to load, are you? No, of course you're not. There you are. No, you're not. Maybe. Possibly. Right. Don't think so. No, we're good. Right. Right, let's have a quick run through I'll quickly run through the questions and comments and that sort of stuff, and then we'll jump down that. Thank you, Jez. Now this would be a display piece. Ooh, very nice. Do you do trains, Mel? No, I don't. I'm a wargamer. The stuff I do translates to terrains because it's scenic modelling, but I'm a wargamer. I'll check it out, Dirk. When can we buy the book, Mel? Missed out on the Kickstarter. You can get the book. We're expecting it to go to release roughly early February. Yeah, once the backers have got their copies. It's not good. The shops can't even. Oh, bit sensitive too. The shops can't even order copies in advance until the backers have got their copies. Yeah, so don't worry, you'll hear about it. Right, what are we doing? Okay, got a big white shiny thing here. Yeah, yeah. On the back are Corbin's plans for making foam weapons. I hope there's not genitalia drawn on there anywhere. There isn't for once with Corbin's work. How delightful. Right, did a whiteboard pen, make sure it works. Yeah. So, what we do in Bosicle? Well, let me tell you. Right, obviously, everyone, well, not everyone, but there was a big groundswell for the big Burma board. I left the big Burma board at a point where I was doing tracks and I sort of lost my mojo and what I want to do with them properly. Yeah, on those. So I'm taking a step back from those and I'm rethinking the project. Yeah. And so what I want to do is I want to get in and just get my basic ground skills on the big Burma build back up to speed, remember the right materials, how I do it. Yeah, so I want a simple sort of scatter scenery project. Got plenty of scatter scenery, as we already know. Yeah, check out the Big Burma build playlist. Yeah, if you haven't seen that project. And all the photos from the Big Burma build, for the patrons, I'm going to be throwing up them up in an image gallery on Friday. Yeah, so just so they're up there for you and we can build on them as we carry on with this project. And I've got somewhere as, you know, a collection of all the photos from the Big Burma build. Yeah. Another one of those things I'm doing to sort of like photos from a video, make sure they're somewhere supporting stuff and all that sort of stuff. So another thing I'm doing. But what I want to do is I want to work on some defensive scenery. So what I'm talking about is barricades, that sort of stuff. So first off, it's Burma. Yeah, it's jungle warfare. Chindits behind enemy lines, but the Japanese in World War II, yeah, for their defensive positions, they used all locally sourced materials. And when in the jungle, that basically meant bits of jungle, earth, trees, foliage. Yeah. The reason was that because the Japanese, one of the reasons the Japanese advance was so quick is they pretty much rode through the jungle on bicycles. And so, whereas Allied bunkers and that sort of stuff, we'd be talking sandbags, we'd be talking corrugated iron, coastal defences and stuff like that. We know they poured concrete and reinforced rebar and all sorts. Yeah, for the Japanese ones, we've got to go organic. Yeah, so I've got to make them look part of the terrain. Yeah, so we're going to be looking at a lot of log work. I've also got to decide, well, how many do I need? So here's the question, first off for you guys. Yeah, for a defensive game, yeah, a defensive jungle game of bolt action, yeah, how many defensive scatter pieces would you have? Yeah, so throw that in. Secondly, yeah, what we need to work out, and we will be doing on this very shortly, is what do we want to put behind those defences? Is it going to be troops? Is it going to be a support team? Is it going to be an artillery piece? Patrick's saying bamboo. I've got some bamboo, yeah, but I'm saving that for some bamboo. Thank you, Norton. Welcome to Patreon, buddy. Welcome to the Terrainiacs. What about cave system? The Japanese loves caves. I want to have a play around with the idea of tunnels and that sort of stuff, and tunnel entrances and hidden bunkers. But I want to break in easier first. So they are on the list, probably the next stage, to be truthful. If we don't go for, doing a little village or something like that. Simple history. I follow those already. They've got a large range of videos on guerrilla warfare. I don't need videos on guerrilla warfare. I'm infantry trained and I've got a Martin. He looks like a guerrilla and I know he's qualified in warfare. Bungee sticks and booby traps. No, we're going to leave the booby traps. I want defensive positions. Yeah, I'll probably do a rough camp fortifications and 2 of those. So perhaps 6 to 8 pieces per camp. Just wood barricade walls. Yeah. So what, 6 to 8 pieces? Let me change the camera setup. When we get round to it, we'll get one of those oligarchy screen deck things where I can just tap it on here and it'll do it dead easy for me rather than me having to reach over. But there you are. Right, you can see that. So we'll look at 6 to 8 pieces, yeah, in a normal set, which is reasonable. So I'm going to want to double this up to what, say 12? 10, 12? Because obviously I've got a big set of terrain. Gorillas. I've heard of stories about in the Congo about gorillas doing checkpoints holding AK-45s. Now, Corey's onto a good point here. Yeah, modularity. Yeah, being able to lay it out. Yeah, camp. Right, prisoner of war camp, railroad bridge. Yeah, bridge over the River Kwai. I think that's going to be a feature build. Anti-tank obstacles, tree trunks buried vertically in the ground. Organic. Did they do that, Jimmy? Was that something they did? Have we got a link to that somewhere? Nice one, Tony. Watchtowers are always good. Yeah, they are. They most definitely are. We also talked about doing sniper positions. So let's start playing around with this. What's the purpose of this bicycle? Let me explain. Yeah, I don't want to do just like barriers. So, yeah, grab some bases. There we are. Bit of putty work for you. That was almost in the PDF. I want some smaller ones. Okay, this is the bolt action. Bolt action plays on inch bases, or roughly inch bases. Support weapons are typically on a 60mm base, is that right? Found out the other way for sandbags against bullets, but arrows, crossbows, and bolts and harpoons go straight through. Bonkers. Really? An arrow goes straight through a... That surprises me. I would have thought... What about if you fill them with rocks? I mean, everyone always assumes that you fill sandbags, yeah, with sand. Actually, you fill them with the hardest stuff you can get your hands on. Right, 60mm is about right, but no basing size. Right, obviously the Japanese also had, was it 105mm howitzers? So what sort of base are they going to go on? That's all working. Is this Vietnam jungles or Pacific jungles? Oh, Burma jungles. Myanmar. Supply crates, camouflage netting, covers for other games too. I've seen concrete sandbags. Never seen them, but I can completely understand someone going that way. Actually, that's quite clever. Fill the bag up, seal it, plop it down, let it set. Hidden MG rifle pits, basically mounds of earth covered in foliage for sneaky ambushes. Yeah, we can do some of those. All right, well, let's do some of those. Right, independent, an officer can have like 2 people with him. Yeah, so let's go 3 bases. Yeah, we're not going to really want them in a line. I'd say 2 up front, one at the back. Yeah, so yeah, right. We're going to need a bevel, very short bevel. Yeah, we're then going to need barricade, 5mm. Yeah, if we look at the side contrast, yeah, we have a, what, 3mm base. What do you reckon? 3/4 of an inch? That should be enough to get most weapons over the top. Because it'd be an inch with the extra 3mm, I would, roughly. Yeah, so we can do logs there. And then a mound there. Right, if that's going up like 3/4 of an inch, we want a gentle slope, so we're looking at least a 1 in 2. So we want this mound to be 1.5 inches. Yeah, that gives a 1 in 2 slope there, which is enough for us to get foliage on. That's gonna, if that's 3mm, that's gonna stick out 6mm, 6mm. That's an extra 16mm. So we're looking at 2-inch width. Yeah. Where are you? Where's my ruler gone? There we are. We can go for, yeah, let's say, make that 2.5 inches. Make that 1.5. Saying that? Right, so what have I done? Basically, I've concepted a build. Yeah, so if I very quickly come over here. Pencil. Yeah. Two inch. What do we reckon? 2.5, 4, 5. 5 inch wide. Yeah. And let's just very quickly do the profile. Right, so first design. Yeah? Yes, it looks like a mustache. No, it's not a mustache, it's a smile. Okay, what's the point of all this? Quite simple. All I'm doing is I'm basically just level 1, alpha level play testing. I'm using this board to put the bases on, yeah, to draw my defences around and to get a feel of what the terrain is going to be like before I build it. How wide it's going to be. When you make terrain, yeah, you cut the base first, pretty typically with scatter terrain. I'm going to have these many bases, sort of pear-shaped, couple of ovals, you know, rectangular looking ones, curved bits, bit of wiggly bits. Do all those. And then you fit the terrain on them. In the case of defensive features, yeah, the terrain needs to be enabled for the gameplay. Now what that means is we can't just build something and then hope our troops fit next to it or it works with them. Instead, what we're doing is we're taking a different approach and we're using the bases and the board to get a feel and get a rough shape of the bases we're going to cut, and I'm going to shape up tomorrow first thing, yeah, knowing that when we build the terrain on top of them, this 3-man team, yeah, that's going to fit in this setup. It just means that you don't get to that situation of you build a load of terrain and then you find out you put a squad by it and you got 2 guys who, like, you know, are too far away, or the way you put your bevel on the base means that you guys are either popped up too high or too far away to count as getting a cover save. It's just making sure your terrain works for your game. Right. I've used 40mm for small teams and 26mm for my soldiers. Putting 3mm MDF, add some weight. Yeah, I like MDF bases for bolt action for some reason. Don't forget the Kemper tie, political officer. Hidden pits were low in height, so they didn't stand out in the terrain. Yeah, I've got to figure out how I'm going to do that. Small diagram of a pit looks like a fire helmet. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I see that. For defence terrain, I suggest watching Wind Talkers, Thin Red Line, etc. I am going to have to jump on those and do a bit more research. So right, let's say we want 2 of those, because 2 of those will be enough. Yeah, right, we want something a little bit bigger. That profile works, so we'll keep that. So what I want to do is I want to combine these so they're not just open. Yeah, what I mean is they're not just pieces that I drop down. So what I want to do is this idea of combining them. So let's say we've got, let's say 5-man squad, or 5 men up against the up against the barrier. So we've got me 5 men there. Yeah, we've got our rough one there, so we know we can come along here. That's going to be roughly 2 inches. Yeah, so we can give it a bit of a curve on. Yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it a bit more interesting. Yeah, I'm going to put that in there. Okay, yeah, let me move it up so you can see. Shut up. Just shut up. It's not a joke. It's a serious terrain idea. Just shut up. So, we've got the standard barrier here. Yeah, with obviously our beveled ground. Stop it! I'm just going to do it. You lot can just shut the up. Okay, now the idea behind this is I didn't want my defences sort of sticking out on their own just in the middle of nowhere. You know, surprise, here I am. Someone's erected something. So, the idea that there might be a mound of earth that they've shaped, yeah, and so tying in a defence with a normal sort of Burma build scatter, so where I build the earth up a bit, then I acquire a bit of foliage. So the idea that instead of just being a barrier, yeah, it's a barrier with a small scatter terrain here. So here we have the base for the barrier, and then obviously we've got the small scatter terrain here. Yeah. Now, obviously, we're going to need lots of foliage on a small scatter terrain, so, you know. Shut up! Just stop it. You're not funny. Yeah, really dense, you know, where no one's cut at it. Yeah, for over a year. Shall I curve it a bit more so they get a bit more in? Listen, this is serious terrain work. I'm not joking. This is serious terrain work. Mental age of the day, 13. We love it. Embrace your inner child. It's not got our rated 13. We haven't even got onto anatomy yet. This is a top-down diagram of a defensive scatter position in Burma during World War II. Needs trimming. Right, so I'm going to draw this one up quickly so we can move on. Right, so how are we going to fit our little soldiers? These things sailors. Right, 5 inches, that's a reasonable length. Yeah, and then extend into some sort of scatter terrain. Shut up. Right. Just shut up. Ah. And so that's one of the designs I'm going to do. I'm going to do 2 of them. I'm going to make them reversible so they can both go at different. It's not funny. Right. Now I do want some standalone erections. Simple earth piles. Your mouth says shut up, but your grin says I'm proud of you all. You're wrong, all of you. You're bad people. Sinners. That's what you are. You're sinners. You're all going to hell. Where you find out your PVA is too liquidy and doesn't thin properly. I am proud of you. Right. That was a quick one. Yeah, it was. Oh, shut up. Right, okay. Let's do something a little bit different. So we've got the moustache and the extension. We're calling it the extension, okay? That's what we're going with. The extension. No, I'm not even going to say the extension. You realise I've got to do this for a video. Oh, pardon me. Run to the hills. Hell, I'm bursting into flame when I cross the threshold of a church. Damn you. Just wait till he starts drawing the tunnel entrance. You can calm down mine. Viagra trench. Right. Next one. You can calm down. Similar process. Yeah. First off, I want to do some standard barriers. Now, I don't need to draw these up. Yeah, because these are just going to be our simple sausage ones. Yeah. I think I'll do a slight V in them. Yeah, with the logs. So I'll put a little curve on them because that works with the modularity idea. Now, how I'm going to build them all? Yeah, I'll do them in a few different ways. That'll give me some nice, what you call it. Let me just bring that around there. That's going to give me, what you call it. If I put all four of them together, I'll get that nice arch effect. If I combine them with, yeah, okay, you know what I mean? Yes, we know what I mean. Yeah, so that's the thinking on those. So I've got 8 so far. Yeah, we were aiming for, well, 6 to 8 is normal for a table. Yeah. What to do when someone attacks you with a banana? What about XPS mounds with bunkers built into them? That's going to be next. I want to do the hidden bunkers and removable tops and that sort of stuff on the next sort of set of defences. Right now, I'm just basically looking at barricades. It's something simple. It can get me back into filming. Yeah, I can show a few different techniques with it, and I can sort of get my head round Burma colours and how I did my Burma ground and all that sort of stuff before I go before I deep dive into embedding bunkers and, you know, false trench lines and all this sort of stuff. In the future, you should make a diorama on the last stand of the glorious Gloucesters, the Korean War. No, if I do any sort of historical drama, it will be for the Chindits. Happy chaps. I see. You were worried about telling a date what you do. Yeah, too right, mate. Tanya's been naughty. Are you drinking, Tanya? Right, so let's make a couple of interesting ones. Yeah, we'll do 2 more. That sounds good, doesn't it? Oh, Tanya's awful. Absolutely awful. Shocking the stuff she posts. It's 5 AM, so yes. Good girl. Proud of you, Tan. Right. What we want to do is, what shall I? We want a nice fire position for a howitzer. Okay. So. There's a 60mm wide? It's a tendency. And then there's quite a tendency also to put them on rectangular bases. Now, before I carry on, can someone confirm with me that the Japanese howitzer does fit on a 60mm base? Because Corbyn's going to be really gutted if I make a specific defensive point for it. And Kohima was a good one. I'd actually like to do, if I was going to do a World War II diorama, I think I'd do the Chindits. Yeah, on the march home. It'd be disturbing, to say the least. Because it is disturbing what they went through. But, you know, that's not something I'm doing right now. Right now, I want a game. Right, so 60mm for the width of a base for a howitzer piece. Right, the reason I ask is because I want to put it in between two mounds. So, and what we'll do is do cutouts like that. Okay, and then heavy foliage here. What I need to know, with a dip roughly here. Jimmy, I don't think they do have set bases for weapons gun teams. Howitzer base, so 75mm. Yeah, let's go up to 75mm. So, basic idea, two mounds. This is not how I planned this. This is supposed to be a serious discussion. And so you lot, I'm going to check if there's been any PayPals. See if I can distract me. There's going to be none of them. You're going to carry on, aren't you? You git. You're not getting a gopher dance out of me. Not a chance. No, I'm fine. Although it does look like we've had another pet. No, McClure? Well, McClure? McClure? Norton and Maxie? Thanks for coming on board, buddy. That's right. No go for dancing. No. Right, so 75mm for a howitzer. Now, should we do two sets? Pair of them? What do you reckon? Right, so the idea is, obviously, that we have that kidney shape with the two mounds there and there, but we're cutting out. Yeah, so we do large one like that, round like that, round, bring this round up to there, and then we have the cutout. Now the depth of the cutout on this side, how much this is doesn't really matter. The important thing is obviously elevation of the gun. Yeah, so quick draw in there for me to check what the elevation of the gun is. Yeah, and then what we do with this is dead simple. We'll do the earth mounds there, round like that, and then we'll bracket it and batten it. Yeah, for the actual howitzer piece. And I reckon if we do 2 of those, yeah, I'm good to be back. Had to drop back when I separated to sort out my finances now. I'm on a single paycheck to cover everything. Well, as long I appreciate your support, Martin. I really, Norton, mate. I really do, Martin. You're not likely to need 2 howitzer emplacements in one game. I appreciate that, but if you remember, I'm doubling up my sets, so I have a very large set of terrain. Yeah, so I am padding it up. If I've got to, we can do something really good with that. Thank you, Norton, as everyone is shouting out. It's good to get back in the role of these things. So, that's basically what that was about. Essentially, designing these highly technical, yeah, designs for bases and stuff like that. Right, so, here we have, yeah, Le Moustache Defense, yeah, the extension, the V, an Afro Man. Either that or Cyberman. But either way, that needs to be 75mm. Let's go for 80. That way I know I'm good. How much we're looking at? 80mm. We could probably get away with 70 to be truthful. Let's see how we do. Let's see how we do, as they say. I think that's the best thing. Right, so here are the bases that I'll be working on tomorrow. Yeah. Come on, Bob. You've got this. Yeah. So here are our bases. So, small support team, 5-man team. We need to figure out a width for that. What do you reckon? 6 inches? 6 inches through there and there, with ½ an inch on either side, I reckon. Yeah, just for this carryover. So 6-inch barricade, ½ an inch for what you call it. Yeah, and then obviously we've got the large emplacements. Now I'm not going to know on the large emplacements until I actually sit down, have a bit of board in front of me, and I get a feel of, where the mounds. Yeah, to answer Jansen's question, I find it strange that such big guns would appear on table anyway in such a small platoon level game. Yes, that's certainly correct, but that bolt action works on abstract scaling, not absolute scaling. I can't. Anything I say about this lot is just going to get twisted. Absolutely twisted by you kids. So, We'll start off with these. Yeah, I'm going to aim to see if I can get these knocked out for Tuesday. So you've got a video of it. This is just wrong. So wrong. So wrong. Right, this is devolving, guys. Look at what you're doing to me. Right, we've got, what do you call it? We've got 10 pieces there, which is plenty. Yeah, we've got enough barricades, a couple of small fire pits, our extension pieces, yeah, which should hopefully allow us to tie the terrain together. If we use the same sort of barricades and that sort of stuff, same sort of way of creating the barricade, then what do you call it? Then thematically, they will look and tie in together, and that will work on the modularity. Got 2 foot of barriers there. There's easily another foot there between the two of them. Yeah, so that's 3 foot perimeter defences as well if we want to put them together. We're innocent. I'm not drawing naughty pictures. So I have a battle plan to where to proceed. Right, there you go. Because we don't need to look at the dirty pictures anymore. It's just me and thee. Right. Oh, you can shut up knots as well. Yeah. Right, so I've gone through, I've worked out what the battle plans are. Okay. I know what basis I'm cutting tomorrow. Now, moving forward, yeah, we're going to get carried on, what you call it. For our next Thursday show, what we're going to do is, fingers crossed, I'll be ready to get into some painting and that sort of work with the, what you call it, with Isolation's Reach. But I want to get a terrain video over to you as soon as possible, which is why I wanted to work on this. Now, we are coming up on the hour, and I don't want to drag this out unnecessarily. I just want to get back into the idea of live streaming on Thursday nights with the intention of doing it from the studio, hopefully. Yeah, but I want to get back into this. Stop it, Joe. So I am going to call it now. Now, listen, thanks for joining me. It's good to be back. It will get more regular. It will get longer the more we do this. Yeah, the more we play with it. Calm down. This is why I need to stop. Yeah, I'm going to lose my channel. Yeah, you know the drill. Yeah, 10 taps, 4 for the hell, 1 for the yeah. See, you throw me off completely. 4 for the hell, 1 for the space, 4 for the yeah, 1 to put a smile on my face. Because be truthful, I don't think you need to. I've got plenty to be giggling on about, haven't I? Yeah. Tanya's screaming patron. Yeah, that would be great. Just $1 a month. Just pledge for 1 video, support 1 video for 1 month. Yeah. Support 1 video for $1. Yeah, it all helps keep the lights on. Remember, you can select how many videos you support a month and cap it off at 1, 2, 3, 5, whatever. Yeah, and if you're not into the monthly support things to keep the lights on, the cameras rolling, and me doing all this with you guys, one-off via PayPal down below. Yeah, all helps to keep us up and running. In the meantime, I see hell yes. I'm going to love you and leave you guys because I'm going to go off in there and giggle like a schoolboy. And then figure out how the bloody hell I'm going to do this in time lapse, the basing. Yeah, part of the video, because there's no way I can talk through this. Not in a proper video. It's good to be back, folks. I will see you Sunday night. All the best. Ta-da.